guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm just going to do something very different because it's not actually that different because it is the third video on my channel. So the two previous ones were about traveling, and obviously right now I'm not on vacation, so it's not possible for me to continue doing any travel vlogs. So this time I'm just going to talk about something that I have been doing recently, which is the Ashtanga Yoga Teacher Training Intensive. So right now I'm already at the third week of this program. Like, thank God, I'm almost at the halfway point. I think tomorrow noon will be the halfway point because it'll last for like 5 weeks. And tomorrow is Wednesday, which means that tomorrow would be the halfway point of this freaking journey. I'm so freaking looking forward to finish it. It's not because I don't like it or anything, but it's so freaking long and so like stressful, and it gives people so much pressure. And to be honest, I'm not a yogini. I feel so sorry to say that because as somebody who is planning to become a yoga teacher, I feel like I should be the most passionate one about yoga, but nope. After studying so much of it and practicing it a lot, like I've been practicing it almost like not less than 3 days a week for more than a year now, and I think my level of yoga is not horrible. It's not the best. It's not the most crazy stuff you see on Instagram, but I think it's okay for becoming a yoga teacher in the gym or anything. So my skill is okay, and I still say that I'm not enjoying it. But this is my own problem. It's not others' problem at all, just me myself that I don't know how to enjoy yoga. So today, the main theme of this video is to talk about something that I have learned during the yoga training, to talk about something that I'm not actually buying, something that I wouldn't say I disagree with, but something that I don't feel like it's so necessary or something that's very convincing to me, and they'll be dividing different points. So let's go. So the first thing that I'm not buying is called kriya. What is kriya? Okay, so in this manual, there's actually one chapter dedicated to kriya and pranayama. I think most people know what pranayama is, which is called breathing technique. Like sometimes you have to train yourself how to breathe. Like for example, you block this nostril and then you inhale from one nostril and then exhale from the other nostril, and sometimes you have to like use your abdominal muscles to push the air out, like something very complicated. Like there's not something I would like to train every day, but when we had pranayama classes, I was really taking it and I feel like sometimes it helps. So I'm pretty impressed by pranayama technique, but kriya is something I don't think I would ever try in my entire life. What is kriya? It's written here. The kriyas, oh my god, I didn't even freaking say it right. It's called kriya, not kriya. I'm so sorry, I don't know Sanskrit, and I'm horrible at theory classes, and I'm not that good at my own practices, so maybe I just should not become a yoga teacher. Okay, let's keep going. The kriyas are purification process to clean the body and the mind. These processes are described in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. We can say that they are even more relevant today than they were thousands of years ago with how polluted our earth now is. We are full of toxins in our body which intoxicate our minds. Or is this the reverse? Have our minds become so intoxicated that we didn't respect our planet? They were intoxicating it and inadvertently ourselves. Well, actually when I first read about kriya, I saw like just like one of those freaking like detox type of thing that none of the nutritionists believe is, like for example drinking green juice and intermittent fasting and stuff like that. I was like, it was okay. Like I don't think it's bad for health. Sometimes it can be very good for us if we are not taking care of ourselves on a regular basis. Some of the techniques here are just mesmerizing. For example, one of the techniques called Vastra Dahoti. Slowly swallow a piece of cloth approximately 3 centimeters wide and 3 to 5 meters long, dipped in lukewarm salted water. Cleans the stomach and esophagus and has a powerful cleansing effect on the sternum, chest, heart, throat, shoulders, upper back, and lungs. Oh my god. In my point of view, I don't think any person can do that, but our yoga teacher, our guru, has said he has done it on a pretty regular basis, not like every week or so, just like every season, like once, 2 or 3 months, he will just swallow that piece of cloth and then he will try to like vomit it and just like take it out little by little, like to me it's this the most disgusting and painful thing ever. Like I could not make myself throw up for doing anything. Like imagine when you're drunk or you're having a hangover, and throwing up is one of the most painful process, although it's already pretty natural. And swallowing a piece of clothes. Please tell me how people can do it without getting freaking choked. How? And by the way, why people have to clean their stomach in this way? Like our stomach is not like a plate or a bowl or like a wardrobe or something. You don't have to wipe it with a piece of clothes. Like if you think you have eaten too much or not digesting well, just eat less next time. Like maybe eat more fibers, have more vegetables and fruits, and then you'll be detoxed yourself. Why the hell do you have to swallow a piece of clothes and take it out? Just as if you're cleaning the freaking toilet. Oh my god, it's so freaking disgusting. I couldn't. And the next thing is called basti. It's about cleaning the intestines, which is, you know, something very impressive. Insert a tube in the rectum, then sitting in the tub of lukewarm water, practice Uddiyana Bandha to suck the water up into the colon. Do a few rounds of Nali Kriya to wash the insides and then evacuate. Well, for one thing, I think for people like me who do not really know how to do like Uddiyana Bandha and other very yogi stuff, I don't think it would ever work. But our teacher says that Indian people, those gurus, do this in the river. Like, do this in the river. Oh my god. Isn't it the most effective way to pollute the river? Because we all know that India's river are not like drinkable water or anything. Like nobody wants to drink from Indian river. And they're like very severe pollute issue, especially when it comes to water. And there are people practicing cleaning their rectum and colon in the natural river. Like what the hell are they thinking about? Like I don't know, I'm crazy or anything, but I feel like this is so against common sense, isn't it? Whatever. Maybe I'm just brainwashed by Western medical or scientific studies, and I feel like all of those more mysterious and more sacred stuff are not that useful. But this is just my own opinion, and you don't have to agree with it. It's just me myself. I don't think it's so necessary. And let's just look at the last one. It's called eye cleansing. Clean your eyes. Okay. Focusing the eyes or gazing at an object for a prolonged period of time without blinking. This creates tears that washes and cleans the eyes from the inside out. Use a candle about 1 meter away in front of you and stare at it for 3 to 5 minutes without blinking. This helps you focus and calm the nervous system and mind. It aids in concentration and stimulates the activation of the Ajna chakra. I'm not actually able to do that. As some person who has pretty sensitive eyes like me, and I naturally blink quite often, like even though I'm not staring at a candle. So when we were having like really nonsense competitions in primary school and stuff, so for example, who can stay eyes open without blinking for the longest period of time, I could not win it. I had to blink for like at least every 30 seconds, and staring at a burning candle for 3 to 5 minutes, oh my god. Who the hell can do that if they don't like use a needle or something just to keep their eyes open like this, or the people helping them to open their eyes, or like just using their hands to open their eyes? Like there would be a reflex of the eye muscle, right? Like it has to blink. If you want to stay eyes open for so long time, it's just anti-science. Is not possible. And by the way, why do we have to clean our eyes like this? Like when something goes into our eyes, for example, sometimes my mascara or my eyelashes or something, I would just blink and my tears would come out and it is clean. Or if you really want to have those tears so much, you can just find something you're very upset with and cry, and everything's freaking solved. You are freaking cleaning your eyes. Why do you have to look at the candle for so long? And by the way, like I live in Paris on my own and my studio is so freaking small. I could not find a real candle for me to stare at it. I can put it like above or something that's like I cannot reach, because otherwise it'll be so freaking dangerous. What if it falls over and just burns all of my books? So the second thing I don't buy is chanting. Don't get me wrong, I'm a pretty musical person. I am not good at singing. At least in my point of view, I'm just like an average singer or anything, but I enjoy singing, I enjoy karaoke and stuff. But chanting in a yoga room, it's not really my thing. Like I really like it when I'm doing like Ashtanga yoga and we have to sing before the sun salutation and everything. That is okay for me. And also after a guided class and we have to regain our energy by singing together, that makes me feel very good. But then during the theory class, we have to sing like the same piece of song called Asato Ma for like at least 10 times. Like we'll just repeat and repeat and repeat, which I don't really know why. It's a theory class, not even like a yoga practice. Chanting doesn't help me with anything. It just puts me into a more sleepy mode. Like after singing with them for like 5 minutes without doing anything and with my eyes closed and with my hands at my heart, I just feel so much more relaxed to the point that I feel I can fall asleep directly. So I don't really get it, but maybe it's just something that applies to some individuals but just not to me, or it just applies to 99.99% of people except me. So who knows, maybe I'm the only person on earth that doesn't buy it. And after that we have learned Om, like what does Om mean? Like Om means the origin of the universe, that it is like the only truth in the universe, blah blah blah. And then we had to sing Om, just like Om for like 15 minutes straight, just repeating the same word. Like I was like bored as hell. Like I don't see what's the point. But again, maybe I'm just brainwashed by Western science. I feel like maybe there's something very deep inside it. This is extremely spiritual and can really help you to become a better person. But just I have too much prejudice against it. But the thing I feel on the theory classes are sometimes like I'm walking inside the church to do some activities and I'm the only person there that doesn't believe in God. And the third thing that I don't buy is actually one of the questions that I have asked during class, because I also do contortion. I sort of do circus, so I asked them like, what's actually difference of yoga and contortion, because some of the poses are exactly the same. Like for example, in the primary series where you have the back bend, and then if you go to the second or the third series, you have like scorpion handstand or like forearm handstand, like everything that you're just putting yourself in like a circle, just bending your back in very extreme ways, and also like chin stand and everything. And I also do it on contortion class, and I was like, so you guys say that contortion is bad for health because you are stretching your spinal cord too hard, like it can have very serious consequences, but yoga has exactly the same thing. So what is the difference between yoga and contortion? Why is yoga better than contortion? And then teacher said, well, actually from the pose wise, it is not better. The pose is the same, but yoga is not contortion, because yoga is for the objective of healing something, but contortion is showing off. Like whatever you're doing in yoga, you're always like having like a well-being kind of purpose, and you're using yoga to transform yourself, to make yourself into a better person. So it doesn't only sit on the surface level, is not only the pose, but it's something that's inside your heart. Are you meditating? Is there any generosity, any kindness, anything in your posture? I have never thought of that, because I think sport in general, like contortion, is also good for our well-being. Like contortion is not only about stretching, you need extreme strength in your arms, in your back, and like everywhere to hold those postures. Like every time when I was doing like a contortion class, the strengthening process is like 1 hour, and the stretching process was like half an hour, and then it's the warm-up and everything, because strengthening takes so much time and you have to have extreme strength in order to hold those positions. So I think it's also very nice for the well-being. Like I feel like I become so much stronger, not even more flexible, but 10 times stronger after I have taken contortion very seriously. But they say like only yoga is for well-being, so like you can also be healing from contortion, right? Because you think it's very funny and you're releasing your stress during contortion class. Like I don't really know. Like maybe it's just I'm so horrible at yoga that I don't know how to get those feelings deep inside. Am I showing any kindness and generosity by my posture? I really don't know. I really don't know how. Or maybe I'll just keep myself more optimistic during yoga. Like even though when I don't feel like doing it, I was like, it's okay. It's just a pose. It's nothing. As long as I'm happy, as long as I'm healthy, is fine. But then the teacher would be not happy at me because I'm not doing anything. I don't really know. So the fourth thing I'm not buying is actually very related to the previous one, which is called healing from what? Because the thing that yogis say the most is like yoga is a healing process. It is healing yourself from everything. But as a 22-year-old individual that haven't been through a lot, which I don't think is a particular thing at all, because most of my friends, like we haven't been through a lot. We're only like 20 something, and then we just graduated from university, and some of us are still pursuing like a master degree or something, and some of us have just started to work. And of course there's this coronavirus crisis that has been affecting lots of people, but still most of the young people on the earth, I don't think we have to be deeply healed from anything. It's not like we just been through a trauma or something has like destroyed our body or a mental state and you have to heal from it by doing yoga. For me, there's not actually a particular thing to heal from, especially for the body. For example, when we're doing like forward bend, the teacher was saying that this is so good for lower back pain. I was like, what the hell is lower back pain? And for like something when we put our like neck like this and like just relaxing our necks, they're like, this is so good for neck pain. What is neck pain? Now it sounds like I'm bragging because I'm just young and sportive, but you know, there are many people like me and who just take on yoga and telling them they have to heal. But I don't think like heal is something necessary for every individual at any age. I think that yoga is a very great exercise for the well-being of every person, but just telling everyone that it is for healing is not practical. And also suggest that if you really have some pain, for example, extreme lower back pain or neck pain or like a migraine or like a chest pain or something, please go to a doctor, okay? Because yoga is a healing process, but I don't think it's a medicine. Like, you really have to get an x-ray and see what's going on in your body. But as it is in my point of view, there's some people here who think that they know so much about anatomy that they can be more effective than doctors when they actually exercise. But it really depends. It really depends on the situation. And yeah, just don't buy every single thing. But on the other hand, I trust my yoga trainers. I would believe in everything they said. So yeah, pretty ambivalent, isn't it? And the fifth thing I don't buy from yoga is like it really makes people very stressful. Actually, this is not the problem of yoga studios or anything. I think it's more about the social media. I'm such a huge social media person, otherwise I wouldn't be rambling here. But sometimes crazy Instagram posts, for example, posts from Alo Yoga and other famous yogis on the internet, they're always doing like very crazy stuff. And they're like, I have only been doing yoga for 1 year and now I can do a forearm stand. Like, wow. I have been training to do handstand for so long and I still could not do a very stable forearm stand without any assistance. Like every time I have to lean onto a wall and then find my balance very gradually and then stay in a real forearm stand without assistance or anything for like 5 to 10 breaths, which is not very long, but still I can do a forearm stand. I know it's a very advanced post, so yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with it. But then I see other people who are so much more fit than me, which makes me feel like so devastated because I'm also a pole dancer. Like in my point of view, I'm one of the fittest person in the world, and there are other yogis who are like, I don't do any sport, you know, I just do yoga like 3 times a week and now I have a handstand. The key of yoga practice is to not compare yourself to anyone because it's just about the well-being of yourself. But when you're looking at others, it's just not freaking possible. And also, for example, I'm very flexible. I have extreme hamstrings and back and everything, but just my hip flexor is so freaking stiff. Like after practicing for so long and trying to get more flexible, I still cannot get a full lotus. And for some people, also for the students that I might teach in the future, getting a full lotus is the signal of being a great yogi, because that is something that is so freaking yoga. Like none of the other things, like for example dancing or any other type of sport or art, would demand a person to put their legs in the lotus. And I also think that maybe for my hips, like doing a lotus is just not possible because every person's body is fabricated very differently. Although I'm always telling myself that it is the problem of my ego, because I'm just having too much expectations of myself and I might be too obsessive with sports and achievements and anything. I'm still stressful because I don't have a freaking lotus. And I really don't know what I'm going to do because after this yoga training, like after I get the certificate, I really want to teach yoga somewhere. Yeah, I am going to teach yoga. I'm so sorry if you think that I don't deserve to teach yoga. I'm just very sorry. And I don't have a lotus, so maybe some of the yoga studios would refuse me because they think I am such a beginner because I still don't have a lotus. And the last point that I'm not going to buy is that because I am doing Ashtanga yoga teacher training and I feel like Ashtanga yoga is so freaking hard because you always have the vision that like yoga is for everyone, like no matter how old or how young you are, you should always do yoga. But maybe, I mean, some types of yoga, for example, restorative yoga like Hatha yoga or like Yin yoga, or maybe sometimes even simpler Vinyasa yoga are really good for everyone. But I think Ashtanga yoga is so freaking hard. Like for one thing, if you're not comfortable with inversions, like staying in downward dogs, you would be dead from the first 10 minutes of practicing. For example, my mom, like, she just could not do inversions. Like, also, she's like in her 50s, so that's pretty common for a 50-year-old woman who doesn't want to do inversions. But like, she just feels super dizzy and super like suffocated whenever she puts herself in an inversion. So every time she tries a yoga class, she would not continue it because she feels like she just cannot do it. That is also okay because my mom is also quite fit. Like, she's walking very long distances every day and still go to the gym and do some type of like strengthening stuff for her upper body. So yeah, there's no health issue yet. Even for pretty fit individuals like my mom, they cannot do Ashtanga yoga for more than 10 minutes. So you can see how many people there are on earth who cannot do yoga at all. And also, we are now learning the primary series of Ashtanga yoga, and some of them is so freaking hard. Like, not only the lotus, that as a dancer for like more than 10 years. Let me see how many years I've been dancing. For like 16 years. I mean, I have stopped dancing for several years in between, but like overall, for more than 10 years, okay? I've been dancing for more than 10 years, and I still could not do lotus because of my flexibility. How unbelievable is that? And then there are also some asanas with like your legs binding behind your head just like this, and you have to put your leg just up here and up here. Like, why do you have to do it? What is the point? Like, having those extreme hip flexors is not something that everybody needs in their life. Like, it doesn't have any usefulness to me. Like, maybe, I mean, it's great to have a like great mobility in your hips, but like, just, you know, common mobility in hips is okay. Like, I don't get the point of those extreme poses. And there's also another asana called like Puja Bidasana. It's like you have to hold yourself by your arms and then you wrap your legs around your arms, so it's almost like a handstand, but you're not actually inversed. So you're also holding your entire body with your hands. But then it's so freaking hard. To me, it's even harder than a handstand because I've been training to do handstand for a pretty long time, so I could do a handstand like with some assistance, like not extremely stable but also pretty okay. But like Puja Bidasana for me is impossible. I don't know why. It demands so much strength. It demands like a million times more strength than a real handstand, because you never realize how freaking heavy your legs are. Of course, it is great to get stronger. Like, the stronger the better. We all want to have more muscles and more strength in our body, but Puja Bidasana is like too extreme. And also, yoga is also advertised for something very common, like it is made for every person, so it should make people feel like relaxed when you're doing those asanas. But for me, as a very sportive person, yoga is so freaking challenging, so I don't really know. Is the difficulty really adapted to every single individual? I am not entirely sure. But on the other hand, the good side is for every single asana, there is a very modified version. So as long as you go to a yoga class, the teacher will show you like how to modify the asana to your own body, and that is very positive, and I really like this aspect of yoga. So at the end, just to say that I really respect yoga, and there's just some very subtle and like not essential points and I'm not completely buying, but maybe it's just because right now I'm too stubborn and I'm not entirely convinced of what I have read about it. But you know, maybe tomorrow I would feel like, yeah, yoga is the best thing on earth, and I will just buy every single aspect of it. Who knows? Because as a 20-year-old individual, I can change every single day. Overall, I still really like Ashtanga yoga, and I think the yoga teacher training has provided me so much knowledge and so much more mindfulness, and it's really guiding me to become the type of person that I really want to be. And I also think it's extremely useful for my future project to do like a yoga teacher as a part-time job. So I really appreciate everything. I appreciate the program, I appreciate the teachers, and I appreciate yoga in general. But you know, as somebody who has a very critical spirit, I just have to say something pretty controversial about it. I'm so sorry for that if it offends you, but I really hope that it doesn't offend anybody. And if you want to argue with me, please say something in the comment section. You know, just try to convince me. So if you really like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. See you guys next time. Bye!